Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, proud to help introduce a new generation of adventurers to the diverse experiences that our state has to offer. Information at lrlv.com or jlrreno.com.
Nevada, a landscape as diverse as it is epic, where wide open nature and wild adventure call to the curious and the brave alike.
This great or what? This is Devil's Hole. This is where the Devil's Hole pupfish is and all the science that's happening right now. Come with me, we're gonna get real close.
At Devil's Hole, I search for the rarest fish in the world.
This is the local community here putting together this environmental art. They're doing it right now, is that right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes nature can use a little hand in the form of art.
Yeah, it looks so peaceful. Can I try it?
Please do, absolutely.
All right.
At Lake Las Vegas, I give stand-up paddling a try.
All right, you guys all geared up, ready to go to Discovery Forest?
Yeah, man, we're ready, let's do it.
And I take to the trees to tackle a challenging ropes course. This is Heavenly Mountain Resort in the summer. I'm John Burke. I have a passion for the outdoors.
Today we're in the Valley of Fire.
And I'm on a mission to show you the one-of-a-kind history, science, nature, and adventure you find when you step outside. This is Outdoor Nevada. Nevada is home to one of the rarest fish in the world, the Devil's Hole pupfish.
Who would have ever thought that out here in the middle of Death Valley, there would be a group of scientists getting together to study a fish? But they are, in Devil's Hole.
Considered an extreme environment, the Devil's Hole is located at Ash Meadows Wildlife Refuge, about 90 miles west of Las Vegas.
Is this great or what? This is Devil's Hole. This is where the Devil's Hole pupfish is and all the science that's happening right now. Come with me, we're gonna get real close.
Scientists from different organizations are here today for a very important count. One of them is Mark Heisner from the Desert Research Institute.
Now, there's a lot going on behind us right now. You got some guys down in the water. What are they doing? About how many guys are down there?
We've got 5 guys down there, and they're counting fish. The Park Service, the Nevada Department of Wildlife, and the Fish and Wildlife Service have been managing this resource jointly. And what they do is, for the last 43 years, they've been counting fish using a consistent method so that what we can do is look back at the historical record of the fish population and have a relative indicator of the health of that population and the size of the population.
These inch-long iridescent bluefish play a big role in the research conducted on the Devil's Hole ecosystem.
What I am looking at is the impacts of climate change in Devil's Hole, and particularly on the Devil's Hole pupfish population. And so when we talk about climate change, we typically think about higher temperatures. What's important in this setting is certainly those higher temperatures, but also the time of year when those higher temperatures occur. A Devil's Hole pupfish lives 10 to 14 months. So every year, this entire population is being replaced. There's a seasonal cycle to the population. So in the spring, that population number is really low. They spawn in the spring, reproduce, and then in the fall, the population is higher. And in the winter, there's no direct sunlight on the Devil's Hole. So what happens is there's no photosynthesis to drive that food web. The algae die out, the pupfish eat whatever's there, and the system goes into a food limitation. And so there's an annual mortality of fish in that system.
The species was listed as endangered in 1967. In 2013, its population fell to an all-time low of 35.
What would it mean if one day we came out here as people and there were no pupfish?
It would mean that we caused the extinction of an entire species. And the pupfish population was steady at about 200 to 400 individuals in the spring, 400 to 600 individuals in the fall, until we started pumping groundwater. When we started pumping groundwater in this area, we lowered the water table, we reduced the habitat available to the pupfish for their annual spawning, and we really drastically affected the pupfish themselves.
Scientists believe the Devil's Hole pupfish has been here between 10 and 20,000 years. Aquatic biologist Kevin Wilson works around the clock to keep the species alive.
Take me through a typical dive. What tools are you using? How does it work?
Sure, so we dive down to 110 feet. And as we're counting fish, we do have, it's called a slate, and we're able to, write down our numbers so we don't forget.
So you're literally making a visual contact with the fish and then writing it down?
Right. We are unique in which we can count with pretty good accuracy the whole population of the Devil's Hole pupfish.
Specially trained volunteers dive twice a year to check on the populations. Divers have reached 436 meters deep without seeing the bottom. To this day, it's still unknown the total depth of Devil's Hole.
Kevin's going to do his dive right now. He's going to get all geared up. He's going to go down, and then when he comes up, of course, we're going to be there to talk to him to see exactly what he found.
After diving for about an hour in this 93-degree natural pool, Kevin finally emerges.
I have been holding my breath since you went under. How was it?
It was, it's a spectacular place. I just took my gear off, and I'm looking at my slate here, looking at some of the numbers from our dive. We saw a good number of fish, and we're excited about that. They look healthy.
What's a good number?
Well, a good number right now is anywhere over 100. We're going to wait till tomorrow. We have 2 more dives, and after that, we'll be able to tell you, so here, this is what our number is for our spring count.
The spring count registered 80 individuals in Devil's Hole. The species continues to be a great concern for management, but for scientists, the results represent an encouraging process.
I have had a great time out here. I've learned a lot. Boil it down for me. Why do we care about Devil's Hole?
Well, there's obviously the conservation aspect. The conservation of the Devil's Hole pupfish is one of the things that really drove research in this system. But there's also a broader scientific question here. Devil's Hole is a really small ecosystem, but what that means is that it responds very quickly to stresses. And the stresses on the Devil's Hole pupfish and the Devil's Hole ecosystem, climate change, reduced groundwater levels, changes in not just the temperature but the seasonality of temperatures, are stresses that are going to be felt in all the different other aquatic ecosystems. And so what we can do in Devil's Hole is really study what kind of response we're going to see to those changes and get a good idea of how we can manage for those changes and mitigate those changes in other ecosystems.
Yeah, it all works together. You are a real Devil's Hole advocate. Thank you very much. I've had a great time.
I'm glad you could come out.
Nice to see you. It's almost ironic, but it's reassuring that out here in the middle of Death Valley, where it's arid and dry, there are volunteer scientists who are working to sustain life in the form of a little fish.
Nature inspires art. Environmental art inspires reflection and sometimes change.
Today we're at the McCarran Ranch Preserve right outside of Sparks, Nevada, where the whole community is rallying behind the Truckee River Restoration Project, and they're doing it through a really interesting process called environmental art.
The Nature of Art project aims to preserve and restore the once thriving Truckee River through living sculptures.
So this is the local community here putting together this environmental art. They're doing it right now, is that right?
Absolutely. We got a bunch of local volunteers and our artists Daniel and Mary, and they're putting this piece out in the pond, and the intention of this piece is to create a piece of art as well as create habitat for some of the animals that use this part of McCarran Ranch.
Meet Chris Sega, the Restoration Project's manager with the Nature Conservancy.
And what's interesting is that this is the community doing this, is that right?
Absolutely. The community has been a big part of getting this project put together.
How's that feel, guys? Does that feel good?
Yes, yes.
It's a beautiful idea because it's using what nature has given you, creating art. It's functional, it's environmental, and something for the entire community, entire state of Nevada to come see.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're really proud of this project, and we've worked very hard at McCarran Ranch and along the Truckee River to bring some places that the public and community can come and enjoy.
In the preserve, about 300 acres, how many of those are open to the public to come hike?
Pretty much the entirety of it. The parts that people are going to want to use are along the path that runs from the downstream end. On the Truckee River, we've worked on roughly 10 miles of river, and at McCarran Ranch, there's roughly 5 or 6 miles of trail.
The project is a true team effort between the Nature Conservancy, the Nevada Museum of Art, and artists Mary O'Brien and Daniel McCormick.
Looks like Mary's got a spare moment.
Oh, I gotta go talk to her. This is my chance. Chris, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mary, Daniel, nice to see you.
Hi, John. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Very good. Nice seeing you. Thanks for coming out.
Mary and Daniel have expressed themselves through environmental art for more than 2 decades.
You're using the materials from right here. How'd you get that idea, and what materials do you use?
Well, we pretty much use the indigenous materials that are here, and as they reestablish themselves and the restoration process is established, we want the artist presence to be less and less apparent. This is a cottonwood tree right here that was cut down over here, and we buried that about halfway into the dirt here, so it rots. These little holes, they're a chamber for some of the cow scat to be placed in there so it can rot from the inside out. That's what the ornithologist is suggesting.
The ecological installations work as improvements for wildlife habitats and water quality.
The most exciting part of this work is going to be about 3 years from now, when this becomes a full-fledged habitat. The cottonwoods are growing, the willows are growing, the birds have taken over this sculpture, and we're looking forward to that.
Once in place, the sculptures become part of the habitat, as if the intervention was never there. Where else have you done this?
Well, we've done it, actually, we're from California, so we have a lot of works in California, Northern and Southern California.
South Carolina,
North Carolina.
When Mary and Danielle leave, they'll turn the care of the projects over to the community. Local volunteers have donated more than 1,600 hours into building living sculptures in Nevada.
You have, as great artists do, opened my eyes to what art can be. Suddenly I'm thinking the sky is not even the limit on something like this.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do out here. It's brilliant.
Great, thank you.
What a great way for the local community to get engaged. They come together to improve the environment, and they use art to do it. Pretty cool. Today we're going to Lake Las Vegas. It's a place that most people around here don't even know about, but what's great about it is that it offers a variety of things to do, things you wouldn't think that you could do so close to the desert.
Drive 30 minutes east of hustling Las Vegas, and you'll find an oasis, Lake Las Vegas. The 320-acre man-made lake is our playground for the day, and we're going paddling.
Well, that looks like fun.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Very good.
Nice to see you, I'm John.
Bali?
Bali. How's everything?
Pleasure.
Bali Kovari is the founder and owner of the Las Vegas Canoe Kayak Club, and he's my instructor for the day.
Yeah, it looks so peaceful. Can I try it?
Please do, absolutely.
All right.
The history of stand-up paddling can be traced back thousands of years to Peruvian fishermen. But the modern sport was born in Hawaii in the 1960s, when surfers stood on their longboards to get better views.
Are all the boards the same?
No, there are big differences between all the way from recreational, wide and stable boards up to custom-made racing boards, which is very narrow, just cuts through the water, very speedy ones.
So as a first-timer, I guess we'll go with stable?
Yeah, I picked a pretty stable board for you, yeah. This is your board, John. This is called a leash. It's gonna be on your ankle just in case if you get in the water somehow. That's how you keep the board close to you.
By the way, I'm left-handed. Does that matter?
Does not at all.
Doesn't matter at all.
You're gonna pedal on both sides.
After a short lesson on balance, it's time to see if I can stand.
Kneel down.
Yeah.
Put the pedal in front of you and stand up and both of your feet should be on either side of that handle. A little bit to the forward, a little bit forward. There you go. Now stand up straight.
Got it. All right, all right.
Got it? You good?
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Try to relax. Don't stress. Don't try too hard. Just relax. Stand on the board.
It really reflects that, doesn't it? I mean, if you're stressful, it just makes it harder.
Exactly right.
With those words of advice, we leave the sandy shoreline. So far, so good.
All right, where are we going?
Let's head out to the lake. I'll show you around.
Okay, how big's the lake?
Between the two ends, just over 2 miles.
With the water calm and the sun on my shoulders, we begin our paddle to the middle of the lake. It's everything I'd hoped for, and once I get the hang of it, surprisingly easy.
You know what, so how long have we been out here now?
At least a half an hour, I would say.
Half an hour. I'm dry as a bone. The worst never happened.
No, you did great. You really did great. How can you get bored of this scenery? You just can't.
If you're looking for something peaceful to do and a nice peaceful exhale, life is good on Lake Las Vegas.
Soon, it's time to head back to the shore where a new challenge awaits.
John, since you are here, I would like to give you this opportunity to try a racing kayak. You ever seen anything like that before?
Thinks he can put the whammy on those old PBS boys.
It's not too hard, don't worry.
Yeah, no.
You ever seen anything like that? This is the fastest watercraft. If you can stay in for 3 seconds, we give you $100 cash.
3 seconds?
3 seconds. I'm pretty sure you can make it.
He thinks I can't stay in this thing for 3 seconds. I thought he was going to say, how fast can you go?
Not one to pass on a challenge, I climb into the kayak.
Yep. Okay, are you holding it, buddy?
Yep. Okay, all right.
Okay, 3 seconds, $100 cash.
You realize
So,
that's $33 a second.
That's good money.
A little more than that.
So let's try a couple of strokes. You reach out with your left hand. Very good, very good.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, you look like you know what you do.
Yeah, a little wobbly, but I get it.
All right.
3 seconds.
So I'm gonna let my partner let it go on the front. 3, 2, 1, stick, go.
Wow, so much for staying dry.
We learned 2 things. I can't do this and you got fish in here.
Hey, you're awesome, man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right, well, losing bet, not always a bad thing when you're having a good time. Outdoor Nevada.
I love the opportunity to take on physical challenges, and today I'm set to do just that. I'm headed up the mountain where adventure awaits me.
One thing you notice about coming to South Lake Tahoe, whether it's the summer or it's the winter, there is a lot going on. And today we're in the Heavenly Mountain Resort, and to tell us all about this is Sally Gunter. Sally, nice seeing you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us here today.
Are you kidding? There's no other place I'd rather be. What are some of the activities that are going on here year-round?
At Heavenly Mountain Resort, we offer skiing and snowboarding in the winter, and then in the summer, we have expanded our activities and have ropes courses and zip lines, hiking. We're opening a permanent rock climbing wall soon, and next year we'll have an alpine coaster. And we're able to provide guests with options for whatever they want to do to get out in the wilderness and in the forest and explore.
And when you hit the town, the first thing you notice is the lake and how beautiful the whole area is. And the second thing you notice is that there's a gondola. Now, where does the gondola go?
Well, the gondola goes up to the top of Heavenly Mountain Resorts. And along the way, you can stop at our mid-station observation deck and have a panoramic view of Lake Tahoe.
This gondola looks awesome. Can we go try it?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
The gondola ride was introduced in 2001. It ascends 3,000 feet on a 2.8-mile ride to a final elevation of 9,150 feet.
Well, here she is in all her splendor, Lake Tahoe. Give me the deets. What are the details on this lake?
Well, Lake Tahoe is 72 miles around. It's 21 miles long and 13 miles across.
And it's deep.
It is the second deepest lake in the U.S., the 10th in the world. The clarity of the lake is over 100 feet deep, so you can see pretty far down there.
Okay, so we're at the halfway point when it comes to the gondola. What's at the top?
At the top of the gondola is access to other parts of the mountain for skiing and riding, and then in the summer it's access to all of our summer activities of zip lining and ropes courses, summer tubing, rock wall, and there's more to come.
All right, so can we try that?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
The trip up to the top is fantastic, and I'm excited to check out the ropes course.
Oh, this is incredible. How many of these ropes courses do you have up here?
We actually have 3 ropes courses, 2 zip lines, a tubing hill, a permanent rock wall, and kids-specific zip line and ropes course.
Super fun, and so was that gondola ride. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, thanks for joining us. And now you're off to meet Matt and try your own hands at the Discovery Forest Challenge course.
I'm on it. Thanks again.
Bye.
Matt?
Yeah, Matt Eaton.
Hey, nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
And this is unbelievable. This is Tahoe in the summer, so there's stuff going on all the time.
Yep, Heavenly Mountain Resort, top of the gondola. There's a lot of exciting things happening up here.
And which ropes course are we going to do?
We're going to do Discovery Forest Ropes course. It's a tree-based course, so it's actually the course built up in the canopy, so you get to actually experience the trees up here in the National Forest. It's beautiful.
Will you take me to it?
Absolutely, let's go do it. Let's do it.
Safety is the name of the game, as my crew secures all the necessary gear. They'll also accompany me on the course as I make my way through the obstacles with varying degrees of difficulty.
All right, you guys all geared up, ready to go to Discovery Forest?
Yeah, man, we're ready. Let's do it. You know what I love about this place? Safety conscious. I'm telling you, they are so safety minded. Makes you feel good.
Put it to the same spot. Hardware, head to toe, shoes are
I'm good?
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's the idea.
So, Matt, how high are we?
We are about 9,200 feet above sea level right now. Yeah,
And
off the ground, we're about 25 feet.
Fantastic. All right, what's our next move?
We're gonna take this bridge.
And this one comes off, goes here. How many platforms are up here?
There are 16 platforms up here, and you know the neat thing about the way these were built is they were built very much in mind with the trees in mind and the tree's health in mind. So the platforms actually can expand around the tree as it grows.
That's fantastic. You got any advice for this?
Good luck.
Thanks for nothing.
Oh, this is fantastic. Woo. Take a big, deep breath of that Tahoe air. One foot in front of the other. There you go.
Now I see why the course can take a while. I gotta tell you, I can feel the altitude. Is that crazy?
No, the area is pretty thin up here. We're about 9,200 feet.
All right. Outdoor Nevada. It ain't all just talking.
It took a team of 20 people 4 months to install the platforms, string the cables, and construct the rope challenges for the Discovery Ropes course.
What does the average person say when he's done with this ropes course?
I'm exhausted and I had a blast.
Yeah. I'm exhausted and I'm having a blast. I didn't even have to get all the way through. This is beautiful, man.
All right, John, you ready to do the DNA bridge?
What is the game plan? How about there? All right. All right. This builds confidence. It makes you feel alive, and it's all totally safe. Oh man, this is awesome. So what's the bottom line with all this?
Bottom line, John, is getting out of your comfort zone, getting outside and having some fun.
And man, we did that. And I am so proud of the way you guys are so safety conscious, and yet it's still challenging. This was an absolute blast, man. I really appreciate it, really do.
Yeah.
Let's get out of our comfort zones.
Let's do it.
All right,
ready?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Today was all about getting outside, facing some fears in a very safe environment, having fun doing it in one of the prettiest places on the entire planet. You can't beat it when you come out here to Lake Tahoe. When you come here, it's a whole lot more than skiing.
Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, inspiring the spirit of adventure with confidence in any terrain. Information at lrlv.com or jlrreno.com.